Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be continuing my series on sound design and gaming, this time focusing on the newly released Paper Mario The Origami King. A little about me, my name is Ryan, I'm a sound designer and composer from Glasgow working under the name The Giant Peach, because I am a giant peach. At the end of this video, I'm going to be showing my sound redesign of the noise made when Mario enters one of the warp pipes, so please stick around to the end of the video to see that. I'd like to start this off by saying that I've never actually played a Paper Mario game. This is the first one that I've played, and despite being aware of the series for so long, having heard so many critiques and such about how the game had changed over numerous installments, I just didn't find myself getting pulled towards the franchise as a whole. But seeing the trailer for Origami King when it got announced, it really pushed my interest. It looked insanely good aesthetically, and as an outsider and a game audio mindset, I wanted to play the game and see if any of the sounds had a papery element to them. Somewhat to my surprise, the paper aesthetic is for the most part purely visual, with some clear exceptions such as when origami characters are actually folding, or when hitting the scenery, and certain paper mache characters that really sound how they look. So far I'm greatly enjoying Paper Mario. I'm excited to go on and finish this. As to be expected from a Nintendo game, everything feels great and sounds amazingly light-hearted. Despite the majority of sounds being far from realistic, the refusal to adopt paper into every sound of the game keeps it grounded. Whilst legitimately everything is made of paper, the thundering sounds of bigger attacks and crashing, crumbling noises of larger enemies being defeated keeps the grander scale image alive. It makes the game feel like a real world, instead of a game that just happens to be set in a paper world. Have a look and a listen to how Zelda Breath of the Wild deals with defeated enemies. Zelda is a great game in itself. Breath of the Wild is absolutely amazing and it uses a lot of really interesting sound design techniques. Despite being a much darker and more mature game than Paper Mario, the way the enemies just vanish into a puff of smoke seems like a way to avoid blood and gore being involved. Something that could have worked just as well in a Paper Mario game when you're fighting the paper mache enemies, such as this particular boss fight. But instead they decided to go with a more dramatic scale, and I think that really did pay off for them because it brings everything back and makes it feel larger than it is. You're not fighting a big bit of paper, you're fighting a giant sea monster. Maybe I'll make a video on Zelda soon, who knows, but for now, back to Paper Mario. I feel that the composition deserves a shout out. All throughout Mario history the music has been memorable, dating back to the original ground theme, music from Bob on Battlefield and Dire Dire Docks in Mario 64 have also gone down as classics in game composing. Whilst I don't believe that most of the music in Paper Mario The Origami King will be held in such a high regard as these other songs, it's all still extremely impressive and they all fit the vibe perfectly. The Star theme, however, has been reworked to be the best version that I've heard of it. The introduction of heavy guitar riffs bring a new level of oomph that really surprised me when I first heard it. A whole new energy exists in the music that before now I wouldn't have thought it was necessary, but it's really good. So now we're going to have a look at my Ableton project and I'll show you how I've made my redesign of the warp pipe sound. Very top up here, to get that paper sound, I literally recorded myself folding a bit of paper and then crushing it and all sorts, and this was the best sound that came out of it, so I kept it in. Nothing too complex, that is the sound of the paper being crushed, and I've pitched it up by a full octave. By using the sound of just the paper being crushed, it really gives us that kind of aesthetic that we need to match with the visuals of the game. Okay, here we have a baking tin that we have. I just kind of popped the bottom of it, it gave us a weird kind of wub sound, it was really good. Have a listen to some of that. So the first one there, that was the baking tin being kind of wobbled about, and I stretched that out and made it pitch down over an octave and then pitch up at the end. We'll have a listen to it at the end here. So pitching it from high to low and then low to high, it gives that entering, exiting vibe that we're wanting. As well as the second recording of the baking tin there, just adding an extra wee kind of pop to the sound. It sounds really nice. Here we've got a plastic sheet being wobbled about. That gives us a good kind of almost plumbing sound that we're looking for. Because Mario officially is a plumber, I really wanted to put that across in the sound, and the fact that you're going down a pipe, I wanted it to have a kind of almost a squelch to it, and I feel that the wubs from the plastic sheet that I just waved about really done well for that. We'll have a listen to the sounds on their own. So the first one there, just a little bit of EQ to take out some of the low ends, as well as being pitched up by 4 semitones. The bottom one pitched up by 8, and again taking out a little bit of the low ends. The sound itself is already quite bassy, so it doesn't really need it. On the bacon tin sound group, I've added a glue compressor, which does kind of what it says there, like that'll glue the sounds together, make it sound more like one unit instead of a bunch of random sounds playing at the same time. And I've taken away both the low and high ends on the EQ now. On the plastic sheets group, I've added reverb again, that'll match the room that the actual sound will be in, and the glue compressor will do the same thing as it done in the bacon tin section. So, all in, that sounds like this. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like Paper Mario. Let's have a look at that in context. That's us for today. If you've enjoyed what you've watched here, then please drop a like and feel free to subscribe. Shout out to Nintendo with the pre-order bonuses. I attempted to follow the instructions on how to make an Origami Princess Peach and came out with this abomination. It was still a lot of fun. So I plan to cover loads more games in the future, all sorts of different genres, and I'll have a few more videos focusing more so on the composition of games. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.